we have here a lot of 4 atlases of different types from primarily the early part of the 20th century. This first one is a historical atlas of 1924, and it's printed in Leipzig, Germany. And we see here after this extensive. What's interesting here is there are war maps in here as well as territorial expansion of the United States. They're well-printed color lithographed maps like this. There's quite a nice assortment of them. Here, for instance, is Imperial Rome, the sort of atlas that actually would still be potentially useful even today, and probably somewhat a little more interesting and pleasing to inspect when you're reading, say, an antique book, than using a computer screen to do research on. I mean, obviously, there's a place for both, but there is something special and unique about color lithograph maps of this vintage that are done in Germany. They retain a nice visual, soft quality that is very different from a computer screen and has a very particular seductive visual quality attached to it. But we see here, it's a very nice, profuse assortment, colonies, dependees, and trade routes. And look at this, a reference map of New England colonies and exploration of the U.S. and so on, so on. Look at this up to page 199 right here, like this. And then at the rear is this very extensive index, like so. The next one is this student's atlas. A little bit of damage at the base of the spine there. This one is the earliest book in this group, and it likely dates from, well, there's an inscription from 1888, but my guess is the atlas is more like 1875 or something like that. The maps are all color lithographed within. So this is essentially a world atlas is what this is. It says student, but I think they actually mean like high school / college, university level, because this is actually a real atlas of the world. Oh, that's a nice map there of New Zealand, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia. It's nice. There's a nice one of Australia. I just wanted to get back here, right, because they go all together. We'll get to that in a second. There's the East Indies, like so. That's a nice one there. Siam, Cambodia. That's nice. India, yeah. Persia. Color lithography throughout. By Philip and Son. And then here, as we get before, well, at the very rear is this extensive detailed index, but then we get here, we have some ancient maps at the very rear, Palestine, so on. But here we have, after Mexico and Canada, we get into the United States and North America, and then we have Egypt and Nubia, like this, North and South Africa, which is interesting, in that new one we saw already. And so that's the second one. Then we've got this complete atlas of the world in this cloth binding of the 1920s. This is 1923. And here we have offset color, printed maps. Each state is individual. And then there are island maps and country maps like so. Asia Minor, Asia, there's looks like there's a couple physical geography maps, and so it goes throughout like this. And here we have Antarctic regions with recent visitations and discoveries and so on. Here's another version of that at the North Pole, like there's Perry, and here's Jeanette and Nansen and so on, all annotated. And we've got that. And the final book in this group is this school geography book here for New England. It is actually 1890s, so this one is 1894. And like so is how it survives. There's still a couple sheets of paper with an early girl's name written on them. She signed her name at the front in 1899. There's Portsmouth Harbor, Wentworth by the sea there, and here's Maine, double page map of Maine. This is the New England version of this geography book. Some nice line illustrations here. No doubt some of these are hand done, some are transferred from photographs. And we see that here's a couple of her sheets where she's made some notes and so on. This one's actually dated and her name is on it. Yeah, basically clean internally, very interesting contents. Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, just pleasure to browse through this and read about the world at this time. And so these 4 geographical atlases are available as a lot online from me, Brian DiMambro.